Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, man. And guys, it's time to find some answers. The offseason is underway. The 49ers have done a lot of retaining and bringing back their own guys with the departure of one Deforest Buckner. We're going to break that down, man. Deforest Buckner is leaving some big shoes to fill, as we have mentioned before. And tonight, we're going to see if we can come up with some solutions to that, as well as some other positions. So, guys, before we do any and all of that, we have to get through some formalities. So bear with us, please, okay? Make sure you guys stop by the YouTube page, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm talking to you guys who may be watching this on Facebook. Head over to YouTube, all right? www.youtube.com/nothingbutniners. It's spelled all the way out. You stop by, click the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as turn on your notifications, okay? Give us a follow on our social media handles. We have Twitter and Snapchat. That is Nothing But 9 ERS. Again, this is spelled out, Nothing But number 9 ERS. That's Twitter and Snapchat. We have Facebook and Instagram as well. That is Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out. No numbers in there with spaces in between each word. And if you forget anything that I told you, don't worry. We have the website. It is www.nothingbutniners.com. Your one-stop shop for any and everything 49ers from us here and Nothing But Niners. And if you're looking for some nice apparel, man, guys, make sure you stop by and hit the website up, okay? It is shopnb9ers.com. Again, that is shopnb9ers.com. There you're going to get some nice gear over there. We have some more stuff coming to you soon. All right. I'm your guy, 49ers Mike _NFL. Give me a follow on Twitter. Tonight, I'm going to be bringing in my man, Tony. He is NJ Niner fan 499. What's going on, Tony?
What up? What up? What up? Let's talk some football.
Oh, yeah. And then we got my man over here, Wayne Breezy. He is known on Twitter as 49ers Breezy. What's going on, big dog?
Hey, bang, bang. What's going on, gang? What's going on, y'all? Hey, man, let's get this show cracking because we got some holes to fill, brother.
He said holes.
I said holes.
He said holes. That's right.
Holes.
So we're gonna start talking about it, man. First, today's been a busy day in the NFL. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't discuss just some of the stuff that's going on. Were there any headlines today that came out and grabbed your attention, or anything that you guys feel directly affects the 49ers?
Well, the 49ers, they cut guard Mike Pearson.
That's
and
right.
then they signed a guard. They said they at the time they were saving what $2.5 million on the cap.
That's
when
right.
they cut him, and then they signed a guard Tom Compton from the New York Jets, I believe. He also played for the Vikings, and they spent $3 million on him. So we actually spent $500,000 more, if my math is correct, serve my purpose. So they definitely got we don't know if he's an upgrade yet, but they definitely got a piece that's going to be playing a role as a backup.
Yeah, he looks like a depth signing. Tony, what were your thoughts on him? I know he's got some familiarity with Kyle Shanahan. He was with him on the bench in Atlanta, as well as Washington, if I'm not mistaken. But Tony, what are your thoughts on the guy, Tom Compton?
Yeah, he was with Kyle's Falcons when they were in the Super Bowl with Kyle there. And he was drafted by the Shanahans in Washington in 2012. Basically, Tom Compton, 6'5", 313 pounds. He's from South Dakota. He's a 6th-round pick in 2012. He's bounced around the league, 5 teams. Can play guard and tackle, both sides, similar to like a Brunskill type player. I'm not crazy about the move because of he's been bouncing around. There's plenty of other guys out there that are better, but the question comes down to money. So I think they're shooting for the stars. They signed him to a 1-year deal. It says up to $3 million, which we all know it's not $3 million. So they are saving money. But listen, maybe they can hit the jackpot with him.
Yeah, he could be a good system guy, right, Tony? And you see how we did with Ben Garland. He also had experience with Kyle's system before in Atlanta, and he came in and he worked. He struggled in the Super Bowl. Everybody wants to remind us about, but I felt like the moment he was asked to come in, he played at guard at first, and then when Wichberg went down, he came. They started him at center, and it looked like we weren't really skipping a beat. And playing center in this system is probably the hardest position on offensive line to play because you're responsible for knowing all the assignments and where guys got to go and creating those gaps in those lanes and those slide protections and all that good stuff. So for him to come in and fill in was good. I'm thinking they're hoping for the same factor with Tom Compton. The fact that he's played in the Kyle Shanahan system before. He's getting system guys. And I think that's what's important. We got to always remember, like, the most important piece to this offense is the center, then the tackles, then the guards. If they can get anything better than what Mike Pearson was giving us at guard position, I think we'll be okay.
It's really hard to find like good tape of this Tom Compton out there. I'm serious. I mean, there's some plays where he's like, all right, he's serviceable in the passing game. The run game, he was but it kind of, I scratch my head when I look at the one. He costs more. Now it depends on the structure of the deal. We know the total numbers. We don't know how it's structured. We could end up saving something maybe because it didn't cost us anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely not $3 million. I can tell you that.
Right. His salary is $3 million, but we don't know how it's structured.
Correct. So
we could be saving money in that sense, where it didn't cost us anything to take off the 2.5. We add the $3 million, but it's the way we add it. But the thing is this: if you look at his spot rack account already, it looks like he's sitting here with two. I don't know. I don't understand this. It says 2020 and 2021. Oh wait, it says undrafted free agent. All right, never mind. So or unrestricted free agent. So this guy is. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like why take someone that has worked in your system already and get rid of him for someone who hasn't been in your system the last couple of years? It's a head scratcher. I don't know. I don't know. You can't convince me that person wasn't willing to restructure. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. This move tells me that the Niners have another starter in mind already.
Brunskill!
Which is very possible. You don't move on from who was your starter for an unknown entity. There is someone in particular. I don't know if it's someone in the draft. Should the Niners or did the Niners get in this 13th pick all of a sudden say, hey, there is a guy that we know we can get now that high.
Yeah.
He's not projected to go until late in the first, early in the second. Maybe we can trade down and still get him, and we know he'll be our starter right away. The guy from Michigan is making a lot of noise.
Yeah, Ruiz.
Yeah.
Cesar Ruiz.
Right. So there's a lot of people saying that, he's a first-round talent, second-round talent. Maybe the Niners are confident that they're going to be able to get him. I don't know. Maybe it's someone in-house, like you said, Brunskill. But they don't make this move blindly, is what I'm saying. They don't do this move without any kind of knowledge.
Oh, yeah. There's a plan in place, Mike. And everything that they do, everything that's going down in the 49ers front office, there's always a bigger picture to the little picture that we see. All right. Let me just remind everyone that we didn't understand what we were doing and going into the 2019 season, right? We didn't really understand all the things that they were doing. We didn't understand the draft picks. We didn't understand the pieces that they were bringing in to play on this team. They weren't really, they were touching in free agency, but they weren't really making the big splash, right? They weren't making the big puddles. They were getting system fit pieces to play in this particular system. And I think that Compton is going to be another system guy. I think that's what we're going to have to take out of this. And we're just going to have to hold back and just wait and see. We got to see what his rapport is going to be like with the other fellas. Again, he has rapport with Ben Garland. They played together, I think, on that Atlanta team. So let's just see like what's going to happen. And I know it's a head scratcher and we don't understand because it's not a big name guard, but he could just be a plug and play piece for right now. And like you said, Mike, we addressed it in the draft. We honestly don't know at 13 and 31 who the hell Kyle Shanahan wants. We don't. We know what we want. We know what we think we want. And we know what we think we need. But obviously, we definitely want to upgrade on the offensive line. Why? Because you want to protect your franchise quarterback. That's number one. Number two, you want to surround your quarterback with weapons. And number three, you want to reload on the defense. And that's what we really need to focus on today. Because on this particular show, we have lost two pieces. There's two pieces on this team, two main pieces on this team that we're not bringing back as of right now. One, we know we're not bringing back. And one, we don't know if we're bringing back. And I definitely want to make sure we get into that and touch that on this hour, brother.
Yeah, now there is some other news that's happening out there that could affect the 49ers a little bit more indirectly, but the Rams seem like they're falling apart.
Yeah, I don't know what their story is, man. I feel like McVay is up to something, But we knew this was going to happen, right? We knew with all the pieces that they were adding and all the contracts, the big contracts they were giving, we knew at some point they weren't going to be able to pay them all. The moment they signed Jared Goff, we said, oh, they hit. The moment. Then they made an in-season trade. They traded Marcus Peters. After they got Marcus Peters, correct? They traded him to the Baltimore Ravens, and they got Jalen Ramsey, right? And I forgot what they traded for Jalen Ramsey, and now they got to pay him if he even wants to play there. Like, this is gonna be this is a tough sled for them, yo. And if Aaron Donald, if you're that pissed off, brother, I tell you what, man, I got a bucket of fried chicken. You can have Popeyes, you can have whatever you want, but you can come on to San Francisco, man, get you a ring for real. You can come on over to San Francisco, get you a ring for real, and you can throw knives at the Rams if you want, man. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure. Were you guys, Tony, man? Let me ask you this: Were you concerned with the Rams possibly rebounding? You know, after a Super Bowl loss, a lot of teams, they call it the Super Bowl hangover, right? And they seem to take a step backwards, but then they come back the year after that. They come back and they seem like they got their focus. You know, guys, we went through it. We've been there. This is what we did this year. This is what we did that year. Let's get it back together and let's attack the league and surprise them. I can't see how that's possible. I mean, there's not a lot of big names left. They still have some talent there. Don't get me wrong, but and then it looks like Todd Gurley is gone. They've lost Littleton. They've lost a lot of people, and they're
Clay Matthews is gone.
And they're talking about getting rid of wide receivers. Were you expecting the Rams to be contenders this year?
I thought they would be a lot better than what they were last year. But like you guys said, I mean, this is what happens when you don't play safe when it comes to the salary cap. You can get yourself in deep, you know what, and this is a prime example. I don't understand this, but they have to give Jalen Ramsey a huge contract after mortgaging 2 first-round picks for him.
Right. Okay.
I understand the situation with Gurley. His knees are shot. His knee is shot.
I don't think they expected that, guys.
No, they definitely didn't. But, I mean, there was a knock on him coming out of Georgia.
Correct.
So, it is what it is. They added a piece today or yesterday, Leonard Floyd, the linebacker from the Bears that was just cut.
Correct.
And then they got rid of Clay Matthews, which in my opinion was a smart move because you're going with youth and someone that can still potentially grow, where Clay Matthews, you know what you're getting with him, and it's only going to be downhill from there. But man, it's just mind-boggling how they handle their salary cap and their draft capital. It's crazy. They just throw crap around like it's like, oh, don't worry about it. Yeah, there you go. They just gave Whitworth, who's 36 years old, an extension.
But they got to protect Goff, bro.
They do, but I got news for you. Whitworth wasn't that great last year.
He wasn't that great against us. Obviously, he played probably better against other teams. He just didn't have nothing for us, which works for me.
What the hell was that?
Oh, that was me chopping up my ice. My bad. I forgot that y'all can hear everything I do. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's just poor cap management, poor roster management. I mean, I don't know.
It absolutely is. And it's like every time you talk to us, Tony, I feel like you always try to bring me back into the forefront of the cap and the front office, and how this stuff has to not only make sense this year, but a couple of years in the future. Like, you have to set yourself up to not get put in a predicament like the Rams. I just think they got themselves caught up in a bad predicament, and now they're trying to free up as much as they can. They're gonna take so what they're going to do is, with the cuts of Todd Gurley and the cuts of I forgot, there's another person that they cut. They're gonna take some cap hits, some big cap hits. I'm talking $12 million this year for Gurley, and another $12 million for another player that they released, and then another couple of million next year for release for cutting those players. So yeah, man, it's gonna be tough sledding for them. But
here's a lesson to learn from what the Rams did. They mortgaged their future to go into a win now mode by picking up all these free agents. They gave up all these draft picks to acquire these guys. They paid these guys whatever it was that they wanted. And look where they are now. Look at the way they did their team.
Yeah.
Look at the way the Niners are doing their team. It's two completely different things here. We don't go out there and get all these big name guys and, the Ndamukong Suhs and the Jalen Ramseys. And I mean, they were getting everybody. They were just grabbing guys left and right. You're like, you got to be kidding me, right? And then, here they are now. They have it doesn't look like they have a direction. It doesn't look like this team has an identity. The face of the franchise was Todd Gurley. Now they're forcing it on Jared Goff.
I thought the face of the franchise was Goff. After they made him the highest paid quarterback in the league, he had to be the face, right?
I mean, I always assumed that team ran through Goff. I mean,
Gurley.
With Gurley.
I got you.
And then he got messed up, and then you saw that they had to change the guard, right? Like they had to kind of do that. But my point, though, is this. It's how you build your team. You can build teams for long-term success. You have to be patient. You have to work the draft well. Free agency is to fill some holes, but not all holes. They did it the exact opposite. And that's why I think the 49ers can learn, and their fans can learn a lot from what the Rams went through. They had their window. They tried. Now they're starting from the bottom, man, and they're taking a lot of losses. They're losing players. They're losing money, and they lost a lot of draft picks as well. They're going to be scraping and scrounging for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's going to be rough for them. But enough about them, man. They the bottom feeders. So let's get to the top feeders of the NFC West, man. And it's funny because I feel like I like that you brought that topic up because I feel like all four teams in the NFC West do their building differently. You know what I'm saying? Like the Rams went about it their way. Arizona's like a mixture of Ram, and then they got their way. The 49ers are all about, getting the right pieces that fit a system. There's never a one guy type thing. And Seattle just draft late round picks and make them work. Like it's just amazing how everyone is different. And I think I love that about the NFC West.
Yep, it is. It is going to be a lot of fun to watch this year. So jumping into our topics tonight, man, Tony and I were speaking earlier today, and he was talking about the loss of Deforest Buckner and what it means. So let's try to break this down a little bit. We're going to start with Tony here, man. Deforest Buckner. People are going to say, his production didn't get a lot of sacks. Let's start with the whole. He didn't get a lot of sacks this past year. What was he doing? You're going to hear people saying he couldn't beat double teams. He couldn't be single coverage. And what did he do? What are we losing? And then we're going to get into how we go about fixing it.
Well, I think we're losing a great teammate, a great locker room guy, and a great player on the field. DeForest Buckner somehow, some way, always managed to sack Russell Wilson. Managed to sack him 5 times over his career in San Francisco. But like we touched on this 2 days ago, I was pissed. But then when you sit there and look back and you see it and you make the logic and the reasoning behind it, it makes sense. So basically what we're going to try to do tonight is try to figure out a strategy for the team and how to replace DeForest Buckner. They're very big shoes to fill. But I'll start off with this. They're in-house people. We have DJ Jones slotted at the one technique, which is the inside shoulder of the guard, strength to the tight end. And the 3 technique is the outside shoulder of the guard to the weak side guard, the weak side of the formation away from the tight end. So your one technique's more of a run stopper. He's more of like a 6'1", 320 guy, like a big, stocky dude that's not like your fire hydrant type guy. Your 3 techniques are more athletic, pass rusher who could penetrate, stop the run. Buckner was double teamed quite a bit last year. And if we're going to look at the in-house players that we have, I think this year, it's a make or break season for Solomon Thomas because this is his opportunity right now to step in. He has there's a hole right now in that defense. And the guys that are going to fill it is going to be either Solomon Thomas, Julian Taylor. We have Givens, who was an undrafted free agent last year. You have Katavius Street. You have a free agent in Sheldon Day. We also have 2 first-round draft picks this year in the first round that are, I don't know which way the team is going to go. But as far as a free agent coming in from the outside, there are a handful, like, there's no one I would dump a ton of money on, which anyway, we can.
You don't have to worry about free agents right now. We'll get to that.
But they need to understand, they need to figure out what they have in-house before this draft comes. And if they feel good with what they have in-house. Me personally, I really would love to see Julian Taylor in this role. But I know they're going to try to push Solomon Thomas to it because what they invested and whether to move on from him next year. So that's what I think about that. But my opinion, though, I'm going to be honest with you. I'd rather the one knock on Deforest Buckner as a 3 technique was Deforest Buckner was 6'7". He's a big dude. And if you don't play low, you could get exposed as a 6'7" defensive lineman. My preference,
any lineman.
Yeah, I would like a guy like as a 3 technique in the 6'4" range,
those short,
maybe 6'5".
So you want him taller or shorter?
Shorter,
right? Like Aaron. Like okay, I just want to make sure I'm hearing.
I want like someone in like the 6'4" range, 6'5" range, maybe a 6'3" range,
so that they can get up under you, right?
Correct,
and still be able to bat down the passes. I got you.
Correct. So I just feel when you're a 6'7" guy lined up on the inside, and you put your head up, you're done. They're gonna push you right back. They're gonna jack you up, right to your shoulder pads. It's done. But yeah, what do you guys think about it?
So, Breezy, we're going to give it to you, man. He's telling us what we're losing in Buckner, and he named some options there. Let's start with Breezy with some in-house options. Is there anybody that you had your eye on, man? Let us know what your thoughts are, bro.
All right, so just refresh my memory. Who are our inside guys? I know Street, Sheldon Day, right? He played inside.
Oh,
Sheldon Day's a free agent.
Oh, he's not back?
He's not technically back yet.
Okay, my bad. So Street,
we have Street,
Julian Taylor, Givens.
Yes.
And wasn't there one more?
Solomon Thomas.
And Solomon Thomas. But Thomas is not an inside guy, right? He plays better on the outside.
I got no comment on that.
I know. I'm asking. I'm sorry. I'm not throwing shade. I
know, but they move him around. He plays inside.
Okay, so he's the wild card on the defense. So yeah. So here's the thing: losing Buckner, is a blow. Okay, so I'm not gonna sugarcoat that in any other kind of way. Buckner, regardless of his production declining in 2019, he still demanded double teams. He still provided sacks on this team. Then he have like 8 sacks this year. So that's 8 sacks. Who is going to fulfill 8 sacks? Okay, and that's what you got to ask yourself. You got to ask yourself who's going to. We know that Street is strong, right? We know that he's strong, but is he going to end up like another Mike Purcell? Like, he was strong too, but he couldn't get to he couldn't, are they run stuffing defensive tackles playing that 3 technique, or are they able to run stuff and be able to get pressure to the quarterback? And that's what DeForest Buckner provided. He provided like the best of both worlds. That's probably why he was never great at one. He wasn't your Aaron Donald where he's going to get to the quarterback, and he wasn't your Vince Wilfork that stuff to run. He was like the best of both of them. That's the best analogy you could get from me from a DeForest Buckner. And I never paid attention to height and size, but that definitely plays a factor from what Tony said. So in-house, if I have to pick one of those guys, it's going to have to be a combination, guys. It's going to have to be a combination. If Sheldon Day was back, it would go to Sheldon Day because he has the most reps at that position. He was starting for a defense. He might have been the weakest link, but who's to say he's not going to get better? Now, was he starting in DJ Jones' spot? Because that's the one technique. So that's totally different, right? So who would be at the 3? It would probably have to be Street on your base downs. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have Armstead on the outside on your base downs. And then Armstead, obviously on your third downs, those guys will come out. You're going to have to keep DJ Jones in there, right? Because now you're bringing in freaking Armstead to the inside, and you're bringing in D Ford on the outside. So I definitely want to look inside, but I'm like before we touch on any draft crap, like I definitely want to touch on some free agents that may be out there. Can we afford them? I don't know, but there's some guys out there that I feel could come in because it's going to have to be a rotational position. It's not going to be one guy that's going to be like, he's the guy. Nah, it's not going to be one. It's going to have to be defensive tackle by committee, and it can be done, which is good because now guys are fresh. So if I got a guy that says, hey, man, come in here, first down, and they rotate, and they got a system going, that might work. That's what the Giants did when they won both of their Super Bowls. So it's possible that the in-house guys could do it, but I definitely would like to bring in a veteran that could come in there, like how they brought in Earl Mitchell. Like I definitely would want them to go ahead and get them a savvy vet to come in there as well. We'll get into that later.
For sure. So Tony's in-house pick was Julian Taylor.
Yeah, I think mine would be Street.
Yours was Street, right?
I think
it's so interesting because we all have somebody different. Go ahead. What were we about to say?
I just think Street provides that that strength that we need on the inside. He might not have the technique, but who's to say he doesn't get better at it? Like I know Julian Taylor has proved, Givens has proved, but I think it's got to be Street. Street got called up to play, and unfortunately it didn't pan out in the end. I think he got hurt.
Yeah, well,
that's what's concerning, his injury, his knee.
Okay,
same ACL.
Guys are really proven.
They all injured. They all got injured. Like this is the scary part. That's my point. That's why we need to go get somebody because they all were injured. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
I feel like if we were to plug in Julian Taylor right now, we could see a very small step back in production from what Buckner gave us this past season. You know what I'm saying? So I like the way Taylor looks in there. He's a strong guy. I think he'll give us similar production. Street is somebody who is known for his power, but I'm not sure about his hand technique and things like that. My guy does not fit the bill. Tony told you guys he would want someone, that 6'3" to 6'5" area and all. But I really like what I saw from this guy in the run game, and he can get low and he can get underneath guys and get after the quarterback. And that's going to be Givens. I really, really liked what I saw from Kevin Givens. On base downs, I would have him in there. I think he could be effective in the run game to try to – it's going to be hard for offensive guards to move him because of how small he is. He's only 6 feet. That's me getting out there. You know what I mean? On the offensive line. Now, he's got some more weight than I do. A little bit. He's 6'1", 285, so he's got a lot more weight than I do. I really, really like Kevin Givens. He's somebody that I wanted the team to bring up and just give an opportunity to. We didn't get a chance to see him a whole lot, but I'm telling you that young guy has got a lot of talent, and I would love to see him use that small frame and control guys at the line of scrimmage and manipulate them. He's got good hand technique. I don't know how stout he could be. When people start trying to bully him around, but it'll be a lot to see, and he needs to get the reps. So Kevin Givens is my guy. But here's the interesting thing. There's no wrong answer. No matter how this plays out, if it is somebody in the house, it's someone that is fairly unproven, and we're going to get a chance to see one of these guys here.
It could be Solly, bro. It could be Solly. It could be like, given these guys given an offseason somewhat, due to the coronavirus. I'm not sure how much together they'll be able to gather after this is all over, but we have to have hope for Solly, or maybe we don't. Maybe we don't have to have hope for Solly, but at least I'm hoping, with all the big names gone. Not big names. With if they wanted him to play inside, it must have been really hard for him to outshine a guy like Deforest Buckner and freaking Eric Armstead. Like it must have been really ridiculously hard to outshine those guys. Those guys were first round draft picks as well, and they were producing. So for him to have to come in and be on the edge and not be a real edge rusher and not have the move or the speed or the power, he's a tweener. So it had to be really hard for him. That's why I think they use him as a wild card, and he could be a big production piece if utilized correctly. So, hey, man, it could be Solly. I'm still going with Street. I'm going with strength. I'm going with power. And I like him and DJ Jones next to one another. That should shut shit down. I'm talking in my Negan voice. That should shut shit down. For everybody that watched The Walking Dead, you know what I'm talking about. That's what that should do. It should shut the run down. It should mess up the vision of the quarterbacks passing through the middle. It should apply pressure. We're talking strength, and then because your edges is forcing the running backs to run inside. That should be really good. But again, we gotta wait. Gotta check their health. I know Gibbons is good. Taylor is good. Like these guys are gonna be good. None of them are fulfilling Deforest Buckner shoes, but they can start their own shoes. And they'll get a chance. I do believe they'll get a chance.
Yeah, and I like this comment here from your boy Dragon. It may take all of them to replace Buck. Buck didn't leave the field, so he's got a very good point. These guys are going to have to rotate, and it's going to take everybody. There's a reason these guys are on this roster, and we're going to see plenty of all of them. It's just going to be, we're going to see who ends up getting the majority of those snaps. That's the discussion here. I'm really excited about it, man. Those are the in-house options that I'm looking forward to seeing. We're going to talk about some free agents here, and let's see. I want to do this the right way. I know that we want to be, realistic with our free agent choices here, but you look at – we can't say no. Look at the deal
I know
Armstead got and what it cost the team this year. I can't say that there's any option out there that we can't get.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like that is realistic, Mike, because they made something happen that we just didn't see it happening. I'm a believer. That's all I'm going to say. I'm a believer.
So we're going to kick it over to Tony. He's going to kick this one off again. Let's see what free agents he has in mind to come in here and perhaps help out, fill the shoes, leave bigger prints, but come in here and aid in filling the void that was left by Deforest Buckner.
My main guy was unfortunately signed by the Dallas Cowboys. Mike mentioned him last season as possible, adding him to our defensive line rotation. And that's Gerald McCoy. He would have been a perfect fit as a 3 technique. Offers ability to play the run. Offers a lot in a pass rush game. Veteran. Good locker room guy. Previous captain on 2 teams, I believe it was. If my computer will load, just give me 1 second. I know there's guys out there like Snacks, Harrison, but he's more of like a one-tech, true nose tackle. The interesting thing here is, and I know everyone wants Sue, okay? Sue is not coming anywhere for less than $15 million, and to be honest with you, I don't want to spend $15 million on a defensive tackle, because if that's the case, I would have rather spend another $5 and kept Buckner. But I just feel that I don't think this team's going to go big to replace him. Another guy, he's a veteran, but he's a zero tech or a 1 tech. That's Brandon Mebane, former Seahawk, ex-Charger that they just let him go. 1 second, my computer just froze. Shelby Harris, 29 years old, defensive tackle from Denver. Good fit as a 3 technique.
Dang, you picking all the tackles.
3 guys I named. My last guy would be someone to consider about, and this is a guy that possibly we can get for a fair deal due to his injury history, and that's Tim Jerrigan from the Eagles. But I mean, there's no one that's standing out. I'd rather do this the smart way. I would rather do this through the draft, and spend that money on somebody else, or to extend Kittle, to bring back Emmanuel Sanders if it's going to work out, or to add a wide receiver to this roster. Because if we lose Emmanuel, now we got an even bigger problem at the wide receiver spot. But yeah, if we can get like a low tier guy to come in and do something, I would be for that. But I don't want to see like big bucks on somebody.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tony. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if some of these guys on this list though is going to require. I know a few of these guys are going to require big monies, like you talked about Sue, probably Tim Jerrigan. But what about bringing like the 49ers at one point in the season struggled against the run? So why not bring in a run stuffer like Damian Snacks Harrison?
They could do that, but now you have two run stuffers and your defensive front and your base.
But now you're applying the pressure from the outsides. So if the pressure, like you want them to run up the middle, like you want them to come up the middle with everything, right? He says my volume is loud. Okay, my bad. I'll turn it down. You want them to come up the middle, but you definitely want to stop the run up the middle, right? Because that's what the teams are going to try to do. They're not going to be able to get to the outside.
Just remember Kosierik's theory. They played a run to the quarterback. These guys don't do. These guys are true run stuffing defensive tackles. That's
correct. So I mean, I only
you
name that
more
one.
of like a gap penetrator. That's where Jerrigan comes in. When he was at Florida State, he used to cause havoc as a pass rusher from a 3 technique spot for Florida State. But unfortunately, his injury history with the Eagles, he hasn't done much. So
maybe we get him on a good deal, bring him into San Francisco, and see what we can get out of him.
It's something that you could try, but I mean, listen, you need 2 to tango. It's got to be good for him. It's got to be good for us. It can't be just good for us and not for him. You know what I'm saying?
Understood. But he wants to play, so I'm sure he'll play.
And just another thing, just to consider, 3/4 of this previous season, our defense was in a nickel. So
correct.
Why would you really want to invest big money in a situational player?
Well, I'm not. I'm just
saying, like people are saying, go sign Sue, go sign this one.
Right. He's not playing on He's not playing on every day. I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. I just think they need to bring in one more person to compete at that technique. And I think they're going to look for that specifically 3 technique type of defensive tackle. So if the names that are on the list that are available at defensive tackle, if they don't fit that technique, the 49ers will look to the draft to find a guy to fit that technique, to fit that specific spot. And that makes perfect sense. What you got, Mike?
My guy is a little big for the position, I'll be honest with you guys. But my free agent guy is going to be someone who's played 6 years in a similar system. He's been in the league for 8 years, a former first-round pick. Last year, he's battled some injuries. He was behind a very good defensive line when he first got in the league. It took a while for him to make some noise. Some Niner fans may remember him from a game when we played against the Chargers. That's going to be Corey Liuget. This young man,
that's a good example.
He's been in the league for 8 years. He's a plus-size guy. Ideally, you'd want to see him where DJ Jones is, but I could see him being somebody who can come in there on base downs and truly stop the run. And he's no slouch in the passing game also. For someone who has been a limited starter in the league, he has got 20-plus sacks, 25, 28 sacks, something like that. His last name is Liuget, Liuget. He played with the Chargers. I believe it was a preseason game. It could have been a regular season game, but he ate the Niners up.
Yeah, it was preseason.
It was a preseason
San Diego, yep.
And this guy was a monster, just completely destroying the 49ers offensive lineman, man. I love this kid, and he wasn't even on our team. But he is someone that I would like to see the Niners maybe take a shot on. He was picked up in the middle of the year. I think it was early November by the Bills. He finished the season over there with them. And again, he's got the injury history, but he's a good player. He's solid. Excellent technique, but he's just a plus-size guy. Like I said, he reminds you of a DJ Jones. He has a similar kind of frame to him. So that would be my veteran free agent that I would bring in. You guys have any thoughts on any of that before we move on?
That's a good pick. And I forgot about him.
I didn't see him on the list, but yeah,
that's
what's up.
He's there. He's on the bottom. Corey Liuget. He's 30 years old. They drafted him out of Illinois. He was one of those 3 technique pass rushers, penetrators. That's the type of player you have to get in this system, because we all said last year when we hired Kosierik, his theory is to play the run games on your way to that quarterback.
Right.
So all your big plugger guys, they're really not going to be useful in this scheme.
Right.
Got you.
Now, you guys are talking about the draft. I'm going to admit now, before I make a fool of myself, haven't really been looking at defensive tackles in this draft, but I will try to, give you guys some options here, and we're going to continue with the same order unless Breezy wants to go first. But I was going to kick it back to Tony.
Go ahead, Tony.
It's up to you guys. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Now, when we're talking draft, are we talking about pick 13? Are we talking about 31? Are we talking about somewhere in the first round or anywhere in the draft? Somebody that could be a sleeper that we can steal later on in the draft. Like, you guys give me the parameters of this, and we'll bust it down.
I think we should only focus on the first round. We got 2 picks, and let's focus on those picks only. I know we all want to trade, but let's
Why don't we talk about a top round guy and then a guy that we can get in the late rounds.
Right.
So one high-end draft pick, one prospect, and then another one that we can either do as an undrafted free agent or rounds 5, 6, 7.
Correct. All right. You going first, Tony?
Yeah, whatever. You want to go? I don't care. I'll go first.
Right.
It's no problem.
It's up to you.
I'll go.
All
right. There's 2 guys I wanted to name. So I'm just going to name the 2 for the first round spot because I'm really torn between the 2 of them. I think one is a little better because of the competition he plays against than the other one. But my 2 guys would be Derek Brown from Auburn, and the second guy would be Ross Blaylock from Texas Christian.
Ross Blacklock. I swear to God, you're in my phone and you're reading. Right? You're reading the guys off of my list.
That's the TCU guy. The reason why I'm edging towards
Blacklock. Say it.
Brown. No, the reason why I'm giving Brown the edge is because he plays at an SEC level of competition.
Okay.
So he's facing like NFL talent week and week and week and week in, week out.
See,
Blaylock is more. It's not that he's not good. I believe they're in the Big 12. I think they're in, not the Big 12 or I don't even know these freaking conferences. But he plays for Texas Christian. He is these 2 guys are good 3 technique players. You want to draw them up. These are these 2 guys. Brown is more. We got a $20 donation, Mike. I don't know if you want to just throw that up real quick for Mark. Brown is more of a all-around player where Blacklock is more of a pass rusher. So by installing Brown as a 3 technique, you're going to get the run defender and the pass rusher, and Blacklock is going to be your true gap-penetrating 3 technique that would fit in our system. Those are my 2 high priority or round 1 candidates. My guy in the bottom of the draft.
Just start with that. Let's just do defensive tackle. So let's just focus on who would you take at defensive tackle.
Yeah, my where the hell is he? He's not in here. He's not in this damn book. He's from Nebraska. I think his name is Khalil Davis. This guy is strong. Has the strength of Contavious Street and the agility of DJ Jones combined. He's a freak athlete. He's nonstop motor. His hands are violent. I love the guy. And if we don't go 3 technique defensive tackle in the first round, if he's there in the 5th round, I'd run to the podium and hand that card in for him. Those are my guys for the tackle position. I like those 3 guys. I mean, I'm sure there's other guys that I would look at, but those are 3 that stood out to me.
All right, so I'm gonna go in a different route because I promise you those first 2 guys you named were my guys. So I'm gonna give you a couple of other prospects that we could look up. All right, so I'm gonna start with the bottom and I'm gonna work my way back up to the top. So if I had to draft a guy late in the first round, and he might be a 2nd round pick, but he still could be a steal in the draft, and it's Raekwon Davis out of Alabama. And if you want to talk about motor and you want to talk about like mean, like he's like an offensive mean mugging guard playing defensive tackle. You say you want that mauler on your offensive line. He's the guy on the defense that don't take no for an answer. I believe he's just he's just phenomenal kid, man. I know his sack total was low in 2019 and in 2018. But his tackles were up there. His best year in college was 2017, where he had 8.5 sacks. And if you can get that production, you know what I'm saying, on the NFL level, where Armstead is probably going to be double teamed, or DJ Jones is going to be, the guys are going to be double teamed. He can win his one-on-one matchups because he's definitely another strong guy. I would draft him late in the first round. Now, if I'm drafting early, just to give you a different name, and you guys,
wait. You said you're taking Davis in the first round?
If my 31st pick, like I might sneak, because we don't have a second round pick. And if we need to, unless we trade back in the second, I definitely think he's a second round guy, but he'll go early in the second round. But if we got the 31st pick, I don't see why. If we go wide receiver, I would go ahead and snatch this kid up. I know we need cornerbacks, blah, 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 whatever. I would snatch this kid up because you want to bring in that competition level. You bring in a young guy to get the other young guys on their shit. Like, you bring in this guy, because when you draft the first round pick, they're supposed to what? Start. Exactly. Now here's my guy. Tony picked some good names, man. I'm high on Ross Blacklock. I like the way you broke that down. I liked how you said he's more of the run stuffer guy, and Derek Brown is the best of both worlds, who kind of like will resemble a DeForest Buckner. He would kind of be that type of person. But here's a guy that ain't, like, his story alone, like, will make you just be like, oh, melt. And we love drafting people with stories. I don't know if you know about Dre Greenlaw's story, but check it out. But this kid out of freaking South Carolina, Javon Kinlaw. Go ahead, Mike. You can take it over from there, brother.
Go ahead.
This guy he's like compared to Warren Sapp, guys. And I haven't seen a Warren Sapp type scary looking motherfucker in the NFL in a long time. And this kid right here is scary. And I think the 49ers need to get a little bit more mean. No shot at Buckner. Shut up, Mike. No shot at Buckner. No shot at any of the guys that play on the inside. But they need to get mean. They need to get mean. And I mean the program mean. When they just talk shit and they back it up. Kinlaw will bring that fire. If you like freaking Quan Alexander's fire, this kid Kinlaw, I would draft this mother sucker at 13 and get a receiver at 31. Okay, I'm done for the night.
All right. Well, you guys took all of my earlier picks, so Kinlaw is my guy. Also, I'm with you on all that. It's a good pick. I've talked about how soft-spoken these giants are that we have on the defensive line, and you want someone with some tenacity. You know, that little bit of, concern. That's the guy. So I like that. I like the Kinlaw pick. My other guy, though, is someone that I honestly, I don't know what round he's going to go in. When you have John Lynch picking defensive linemen, you never know what you're going to get. I think he overdrafted a lot of the defensive linemen that he's picked. Solomon Thomas being one of them, right? I think he overdrafted Kentavious Street, coming up with you got to remember the injury that he had, and he still picked him in the fourth. So these are some things that are a little bit concerning to me. I won't lie to you guys, but I can't say for sure where this young man is going to get drafted, but it's going to be James Lynch from Baylor.
Yeah.
My problem is that I can't tell you for sure where he would line up in there. He could play inside, he could play outside. I would definitely throw him on the inside. He's a guy here, 6'4", 295. So he's got the height. He's got some of the weight. He's really, really strong guy. He's got the numbers
mean,
there.
Mike? Is he mean? Is he another big giant, a gentle giant? I'm tired of Shreks. I need somebody that's going to go in there and be like a killer instinct type beast.
I mean, look.
He's a blue-collar guy, man. He's your worker. He's your grunt. He'll do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's going to be a good guy out there, man. I'm not going to say he's a finished product. I say it all the time. These guys that come out from college are not finished products. But you put him in there with a coach like Kosert.
Freak out, but you can get 50% off all
and Kosert will turn this young man into an absolute monster. So you guys remember the name. All right, don't forget it's James Lynch from Baylor.
Adding it to my list, bro.
Watch some film on that. Just watch some tape on him, man. But yeah, I do like Kinlaw. Kinlaw is probably my favorite interior lineman in this draft. So I won't pretend to know a whole lot about these guys, but just from what I've seen looking around, those are the two guys I like. I have no idea where Lynch will go. So I can't tell you guys that I would pick him at 31, but later in the draft, he would be somebody I'm looking at for sure.
Yeah.
And I do want to get to Mark's comment here. Thank you for the contribution. It says, sidebar, are you guys seeing Kendrick Bourne putting in that work?
Absolutely.
Just had to ask. Back to your regular scheduled program, man. We appreciate it. Of course, we have seen it. That's our guy.
That's our dude, man.
Yeah, man.
Kendrick Bourne is putting in work as if he should have got a 3-4 year contract deal, and it's possibly that he may just get it. It's possibly that there's a team out there that saw the production that can minus the mental drops or the mental mistakes, if you want to call them, and they looked at he led the team with red zone touchdowns for 2 years in a row, and he gets the ball on third downs and catches first downs. There might be a team that's willing to cough up a second round pick for him. So I want him to continue putting out videos of him putting in that work, because at the end of the day, that's my guy. I want the best for him. I want him in red and gold, but wherever he ends up, like, that kid's going to be a problem. And I just hope it's not in the NFC West. That's all I hope. Yeah. That's all I hope.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Go ahead, Tony. Okay. This has been a fun show, man. Trying to fill the shoes of Deforest Buckner is going to be a trying thing here, man. And we gave you guys a lot of good options there. We started in-house. You know what I'm saying? We started with Julian Taylor. And then Breezy gave us his guy, Kentavious Street. I said Kevin Givens. Those two guys clearly have the upper hand in the depth chart as far as it goes. And getting in there before my guy Street, before my guy Givens. But we'll see what happens. And there's obviously the honorable mention to Solomon Thomas. You hope that he's putting work in the offseason. And like you said, like you guys said, we've invested a lot in him. You want to see who they can go out there and get. We gave you guys a couple of free agents, and then we gave you guys some draft prospects as well. We will see what happens with that. I'm not going to belabor in the moment. It's been a good show.
I agree, bro.
Yawning on camera and whatnot. He's ready to get hit the A. And guys, we got through a show without arguing. Huh? Welcome back, Nothing But Niners. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Hey, just before we go, one quick thing. I know we're talking about, replacing Buckner. I actually like this scenario a lot, especially that we're in nickel a lot. And the NFL is converted to a heavy passing league. Don't be surprised if you see they line up Bosa inside this year as a tackle on a 3rd and long, because he could eat up a guard. His hands and speed can give a guard nightmares. So it would probably be Bosa and Eric Armstead on the inside with D Ford, potentially Ronald Blair, God willing, his knee comes back. And even if we find somebody in the draft or even as an undrafted free agent, they add to the roster to be that next pass rusher or that 3rd pass rusher, if you will. This defensive front on 3rd and long and their nickel could be pretty interesting with that lineup.
They can be so. If Blair comes back 90%, they're gonna be scary, bro. I like starting Bosa on the outside. I like when he was stunting. I like seeing him switch it up a little bit.
I forgot that.
Momentum.
Snap! I forgot they moved him inside.
And then I'm not gonna lie to you guys. My favorite plays were when they put him and Ford on the same side.
On the same side.
Looking at the defensive line,
you're gonna see that. I'm telling you.
When you go back and watch some of those plays when they're on the same side, right? And watch the offensive lineman's hands in the ground. You could see how nervous they were. You could tell, like, oh my God, they're both coming. They're both on this side. Like, oh man, it's a thing of beauty, man. I really, really liked it, man. But yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see how it plays out. Ronald Blair is somebody who can move all over the line. And when you have guys like that, think about this: Ronald Blair, Eric Armstead, D Ford. Yes, good message. Eric Armstead, Ronald Blair, D Ford, and Nick Bosa. All of those guys, line them up any and everywhere on that defensive line. We've seen them all play all over the defensive line. It's going to be a lot of fun this year, man. The Niners are just getting started, and hopefully everybody is healthy. Yes, it's a 49ers coach. He was a coach on the team for, I believe, all 5 Super Bowls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coach Bill
McPherson.
So we want to say rest in peace to him and to the families and all that. We thank you guys for watching, and prayers and condolences are out to the family members and the 49ers organization. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's really going to be it for us tonight, guys. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
I mean, it's been an exciting offseason, and I say it at the end of every show. I'm super excited that we're bringing back guys. I can't wait till the next show where we touch another position that we might need to address. We're hoping if we address it in free agency or whatnot with the wide receiver position. So that'll probably be our next show, and we break that down, and we'll pick our wide receivers that we see can be in red and gold this year. Whether it's guys that were on the team or guys that we want to bring in that fits the style of offense that Kyle runs. So should be another exciting show, guys. I like these one-hitter quitters, these 1 hour quitters, man. These junks is dope, yo.
Oh yeah. It makes you want to get back on it just some more, but not tonight, fellas. I don't have it in me tonight, but this is fun. But we can bring some more shows later on this week, and that's a good thing about them. So being quarantined has its perks, right?
Yes, sir.
Any final thoughts for you, Tony?
Yeah, just one thing on Bill McPherson. He was a pretty damn good defensive coordinator. Worked with Seifert when he transitioned to the front office. Well-respected coach in that organization. And my second thing is, I just read that California is on a lockdown now. You're not allowed out of your house.
So, Tony, to go with that, the whole country's about to be on it. I just got the text message from my aunt.
It's going to be by the end. I'm not going to say the end of this week, but within the next 5 days, the whole country is going to be locked down
on a 2-week quarantine.
No one's going to be allowed out of their house.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I know it sucks. Please listen to the government. They're doing this for a reason. People make light of this virus, but it's no joke. It's really no joke. It spreads like wildfire. So just get ready for it. Just follow all the rules, the stipulations and guidelines that your local government puts out. And it sucks, but just do it, get it over with, and hopefully we'll all be back fighting, to way things were. Thank God.
Yeah, man. Just if you guys have faith, man, just stay prayed up, yo, whatever it is. We just got to sit here and trust the government. They're doing what they can do. Hopefully things still take place. The draft might be an online. This might be the first NFL online freaking draft. You could say it sucked, but that would be official, yo.
It's going to be televised, right?
It might not be if they can't come out the house, Tony. This might be an online draft. Everybody's at home. They call people at home anyway. So they might have to resort to plan C. Who knows? It's 2020 is different. It's got to be different.
It takes hundreds of people to set up the draft. Forget the players attending. Forget the staff that's there and the announcers and Goodell and all that stuff. The people just to set it up, the facility.
It's gonna have to go back to it being caveman simple, bro. Hey man, you got the internet? All right, cool. You got a phone? Answer it when I call. It might. I don't know. It just, with everything that's going on, it might be the safest bet, yo. You're finding out more basketball players got it. Head coach Sean Payton got the coronavirus all of a sudden. It didn't even touch into football. Now it's getting into football. So this is going to be huge. Use drones, put the draft on TV. We got the technology. I got to show Empire Strikes Back. He said that. Why not? Hey, man, we got to do what we got to do. I'm all about safety, but I definitely want to see the 49ers pick Jerry Jeudy at 30. But I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting, man. You guys just stay safe. It's gonna be weird. I don't know. I haven't heard about anything happening over here yet, so
It's coming, Mike.
I believe you guys. It's gonna be. I just got a letter from my job today saying that I'm a part of the essential employees. So we have a notice if we do get pulled over that we're allowed to be out. So I wonder how that works. Essential personnel. So I don't know how it's going to work out because I supply something that people need right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be really interesting. Does that mean that people can't go grocery shopping?
They might have to.
It's going to be restricted.
Might have to go back. See, and this is the stuff I'm talking about. I got this. My aunt's a nurse, and I got this message from her. So if I'm telling you guys, shop and stock up on the non-perishable stuff, like the stuff you can eat out of a box, like canned goods, those things, just in case. If you got guns, go buy bullets. I'm about to order a big shipment tonight. Like you don't know. We don't know. I'm not telling people, I'm not promoting any of that stuff. I'm just saying if you're licensed to carry, make sure you're good. Get your stuff now because stuff is going to be shut down. Like work is going to be shut down. Like everything is going to be shut down.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, guys. Just be safe out there, everybody, man. We're going to be back. I'll tell you what, the longer I'm indoors, the more shows y'all going to get. I can promise.
Absolutely. Because my internet bill is paid, baby.
Yeah, man. I'm not going to have much else to talk about and discuss. So y'all going to see a lot of this ugly mug and this crazy hair. All right. And we'll be back, guys. That's going to be it. My final thoughts on everything is going to be what I said it was again. Be safe out there, guys. We'll continue to bring you guys some entertainment, Niners news, also anything happening in the NFL that pertains to the Niners and affects them directly. We will kind of try to bring that up and discuss it. So that's going to be it for today's episode. We thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you guys hit up all the links and all the websites. I'm not going to put them all up there. Let's go home, fellas. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
Tony got it right.